doing some Star Wars Legion minis again. This is like my last mini I got. And it is Boba Fett operative. Alright. So today I think for this one I'm just gonna be doing more or less his flight suit and like the gauntlets and probably the cape. This is definitely one where you're gonna have to be doing it in parts just because it's got so many colors and details to it. So I'll be putting away the parts that I really don't need right now. Don't need the helm. Alright, so we're gonna try and figure out. I was looking through. I don't know. Pardon me for a minute. Because we are testing out some things as we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna be trying to get like the suit under, like his flight suit and other parts kind of done. Cause dirty suit there, if you can kind of see, that's gray. But I mean, like his kind of looks like a really like gray white. So I might actually mix some of the matte white in with that just to kind of lighten it up a little bit, make it a little bit better for that. Or let me try this other one here. Shake it up, and always music I got going in the background is synthwave, and it is royalty free, so we can enjoy the tunes. Had to play it on my actual TV today because the iPad's acting up, and it's like it needs an update, and I'm like it doesn't need an update, and it won't update. So actually, that one's not bad either. That one's a little bit more beigey, as you can see. I don't know. That's a toughie. Because I thought his suit's just like a really like it used to. It looks like he not to be mean. It looks like he used to be white and like now it's gray. So I might actually. Grab something real quick. Sorry, coming back. Alright, I might actually just. Oh man. It's tough. Let me see what that looks like dry. I mean, that looks really close to his thing. I might actually use like. Not a combo. I don't know. It's tough. Because that's just. I don't know, that with like the black showing through, it's looking almost like it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do what I did before, or what my original plan was, and use the filthy suit, like just a drop of the filthy suit with a little bit of white and see where it goes. Because we're doing like all the legs, like inside the arms, and like other places. We're just trying to get the flight suit and the gloves done today. I think it's interesting that he's not actually doing the pose that he's on the box, but I mean that's still pretty cool because it's him in mid-flight. All right, so let's put a little bit of that in because I'm actually gonna do like 1 drop that and like 2 drops white, and that should make a decent. Come on, white. There you go. Oh, dang. It's already going south. Luckily, we got the blue towels. Blue towels clean everything up really nice. And luckily, it only hit a stud that goes inside the socket, so it's not like it's anything that would be visible anyway. But let that be a lesson to you to keep your models away from the paint until you're ready to paint. So that, and today, while I was goofing around. I was looking at Boba Fett pictures. Um, and it's weird because his cape, like everybody in pictures and illustrations and edited illustrations or edited pictures, there's times his cape was like either like a green, which like kind of matches his armor, and even the picture on the box I got here, it's brown. So it's kind of weird to be like, well, like what do I want to make this? So I want to go with that. I might actually go with a green or like a brown, like an earth tone green. We'll see. I might even use like a faded one that I got. Like that's called. That's actually looking pretty good. Let me put just a drop of that on there. Let's see. I'm kind of liking that. And I mean, actually, let me just do a little bit more of the filthy soup. I'm getting paint everywhere. Tiny bit there. Let's mix that up, see what we got. Ooh, lovely to have you here on a Saturday night, but whenever you watch this, that's fine too. It's always good to have a little bit of viewership, just something for you to watch, relax. And I am really liking that. Okay, so that's like a grayish. Kind of see it there. Sorry, I'm putting it down like that, but that is actually looking pretty darn good. Just don't want to put it too thin because I got to work with it right now. Here, while I have the fan on. So let's get our detail brushes. It's a little wet. And let's start with something a little bit more open. So I'm going to go ahead and go with his leg, and I think this is his left leg. Just putting a little bit on there right now. We're just getting the pant part. We don't have to hit the kneecap, anything like that. Interesting thing about Boba Fett is he's not wearing a full suit like his dad Jango. He's actually not wearing anything for shin guards or for his the higher part of his leg. Whereas if you've been watching Mandalorian and things like that, his stuff is just like he's wearing a full suit. So we're gonna just go ahead and get these little parts. My apologies if my hand's annoying. So we're just gonna go ahead and you know what I should have got while I was up? I'll get it right now. I will grab my helping hands just because I need more hands for this project here. Because there's gonna be a lot of parts where he's broken up and I'll need something to hold his foot while the leg's drying and other parts. You can see right there, this is already looking pretty cool. I like this. And I don't mind too much if the other gray from the primer shows through on this. I'm probably not going to double coat it because that will just make it look more weathered, and I actually really like that look for this one. Just a quick example, you can kind of see, it's not too colorful. I might even go something like slightly lighter for the shoes, because I know his shoes were like a little different. But his shoes even looked, actually his shoes look darker in some of the pics. Again, it's tough because I'm comparing so many pictures around like a Google search. So we're not really certain of that. Let's go ahead. Alrighty. And we're gonna go ahead, and I think that one is good. Now, let me wet my brush, clean it for a minute. I'm gonna go grab that, and I'll show you what helping hands is. It's a pretty neat little tool. You've probably seen one of these before. Hobby stores, things like that. Cool little tool. That is just going to help me out. And let me actually give that a wipe down. This poor thing has been through the ringer. Hardly used, but it's just been weathered from being exposed. You know, it's metal, it's been out in places where it's been a little bit moist. But give it some quick TLC here with a rag. Blue rags are always awesome. And it even has a handy dandy little thing there so you can see closer to things. Apologies that you guys have to suffer through this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get you guys a wider angle. If I miss anything in chat, that's okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do, make sure this thing's been dried pretty well. It's starting to dry pretty well. I'm going to actually have this hold it by the tab there, so it doesn't scratch anything, it doesn't scratch the foot, doesn't scratch nothing like that. It's just going to hold it there so it can dry. And we'll start our next part. I'm going to actually do the torso here. Again, our nice detail brush. A little bit wet. And it's okay if we hit anything, because we're actually just doing the sides here. The main part of this, aside from the neck part as well, are just the sides of the torso, because the front part is plates and the back part is going to be basically just covered by his jetpack. So we're just doing a little bit of the flight suit that's exposed right here. Again, hit the plate a little bit there, but that's okay. And I'm going to hold it here and try and get the part where you see his flight suit right where his neck would be. And I think I got it. I'm actually getting that little part in between the neck plate and the chest plate there. And I got it. Sorry if you can't see right away. My hands are giant, so it's a little tougher to work on. Okay. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you. There you go. I know you can't quite see it, but just got the necessary torso parts, even in between that. I'm just going to detail it real fast on the torso because it's a little uneven. Okay. And we'll go ahead and put you on the other hand. And I think by the time I rotate around, oh, let me get that hair that's on there. Definitely one reason why I have tweezers as well for some things too. Because every so often, you know, a little bit of me gets on there, not gonna lie. Okay, so we'll get a little bit more water in there, just to make sure our paint stays wet. We're going to start on his other leg. Again, really simple. We're just getting in between there. Nothing fancy. I love about these brushes is they can get all, like in between like all the detail. So they can get all these little pockets like where you might see wrinkles in the pants and whatnot. They do a really good job of that. So we're gonna get and get these. And we're just getting that little bit apart there. This is one reason why I do a lot of my minis unassembled. Prime them, paint them. You can kind of see there. Sorry. That'll look real good when it dries, and we'll be able to do the other pieces of. Because there's just one more that's real close to this cod piece on his. So there we go. Ready. It's looking pretty good. Let me get a little bit more on his leg here. Just want a little bit thicker coat. Reason why, just to make sure I get it all. I'm getting the part because he's got like his flight suit has something right here where it cuffs around the boot, so or his shoe. So that's looking pretty good. Let me switch it out with this one because this one should be pretty dry. Okay, and again, it's holding it by the stub. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go for an arm now. Blaster arm. I'm just getting the flight suit in between. Okay, and it's a really tiny area, so again, these detail brushes come in super handy. I'm trying not to get that wire, but that's okay if I do. I'll come back and I'll fix it. I'm just trying to make sure I don't hit it too much so that I know that that wire is there, so I know to color that wire. Okay, and what I'm going to also do is I'm going to use the same color for his gloves. So I'm going to hit his hands right now because I'd rather not make another batch of this paint. Just to do gloves later is what I mean. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I got those. It's going to be kind of a heavy coat, but again, we can edit that. When we do the blaster, no harm. You can kind of see there. Got the gloves. Got that part in between the plate. Because I am going to have to also make something for his, I'm thinking not only his pauldrons, so his shoulder parts, but also his gauntlets too. Gonna have to make a custom orange paint because I don't really have any orange pre-made. Excuse me. Okay, so you can again kind of see those. Sorry. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead. I kind of just lean that down here because it's on a piece where it's like it can't really touch the towel or get stuck or anything, so we're fortunate for that. So now the other arm, where we're doing that, and we're just getting again the part that we wanted to go for that flight suit part right there, right up to the elbow where the gauntlet is. Bring it around. And whew, I might just have made just enough paint for this. Okay. This is where he's a little bit more complicated than Bosk. Bosk had like maybe 4 or 5 colors to his, versus like Boba Fett has a ton of colors that I have to kind of not deal with. I don't want to make it sound like it's problematic. It's just it's a little bit more challenging, I should say. Okay, turn you around. Okay, we're gonna wet that paint just to make sure we still got plenty of it just to get these gloves done. Those gloves are gonna look awesome. You're gonna be battlefield ready, and you're just gonna not get eaten by a Sarlacc this time, Boba. Trying to make it so it doesn't web on his hands, because it's kind of doing that right now. And that's not what I want at all. And it seems the more I'm trying to clean it and do that, it's just gonna fight me on it. So once it dries, it should be fine. If not, I can fix it. This kind of gives you an idea. Welcome, viewer. And we got the inside of that flight suit and that glove ready. And I'm actually probably gonna, like, if you've seen his gloves, at least in some promo pics and whatnot, how it has like it has a little band on it. Like I might do like a little gray band down the side of it. Nothing too fancy, just something to kind of make it look like him. Okay, I'll move myself a little closer. Yeah, while these are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up. Let's take out that gray, because we did everything in one setting, luckily. So those are looking good. Oop. So yeah, I'm gonna probably use just some like straight leather brown with a little bit of dark on it, or just keep it as is. And then when I put the toner on it should look fine for his utility belt, or his ammo belt, I should say. Okay. So what I had planned for the brown on his gauntlets, I'm thinking just leather brown with a little bit of red and a tiny bit of black, just to darken it up. So we'll do that first. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you. Let me move this over so it's not totally exposed. Okay, so we got a little bit of leather brown. Mix some of this red here. And we're doing it again, tiny bit. Just, yep. Barely see what went in there, but let's do a little bit more there. Because what it is, it's almost like a maroonish brown is what his gauntlets look like to me. Like a really dark, almost like mahogany. Working in paint has its advantages, I suppose. And a tiny bit of black just to kind of darken her up. So we'll mix that with our handy dandy junk mixing brush. Let's see what we get. That is actually looking pretty impressive. That's kind of what I was looking for. Maybe a little bit more reddish than I wanted, but like, hey, that'll look good. Let's just dip it in. I usually look and see what it looks like on a towel. That's not terrible. Maybe a little bit more red. Not glistening, but sounds like somebody's playing with fireworks outside. So let's put a little bit more red. Again, if it doesn't work out right, we can always make more or make a different one. Okay. That is looking slightly too... I need to see what it looks like. Yeah. I am kind of liking that. I might have to even it out again because I think I put too much red. Sorry. I'm going to put like a little bit more brown in there and I think we'll be okay. That ought to do it right there. I know we're mixing a lot for just 2 gauntlets, but hey. Gotta get that color right. Let's do... How we looking? How we feeling? What am I singing? See what you look like. Yeah, that's looking like it. It's looking like a maroonish brown. I mean, it's not as dark as I'd hoped, but I mean, it'll look darker once we put the dark tone on it. So nothing crazy. We're just kind of putting something together. Okay, so we're gonna get our detail brush here. Gonna go back in. Let me wipe that down just one more time. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to start with the one with the blaster. Dip in just a little bit. And definitely this is one that's going to be like coming back and doing detail. Because of the fact that, yes, his armor is older. And you got to just do the details as far as like the scrapes and scraps and things like that. And just... do all that. Devil is in the details, and I love doing details like that. I just realized I painted his stock brown right now, but that's okay. Again, we will come back and fix that because it's only black anyway for the stock, because his actual blaster is all black with like some scrape marks on it. But that's okay again. Like I said, look okay. And that's what we got there. And I'm going to switch that out with another. Let me put my brush down. And the torso was the most recent, so take the torso off. I'll put this one. I do want it to hold it by the blaster, but I'm not. Hopefully it's not too rough. Please don't snap this blaster, Mr. Helping Hands. Oh gosh. Makes me slightly nervous, but that's okay. I'll be alright. Okay, that should dry pretty quick because again, we're doing thin coats like we always do. Okay, so we'll put, starting on the second gauntlet. And again, for his cape, there was so many different colors that I've seen. Like I'd seen one that's brown, I've seen one that like is a really tan with like stripes on it. And I was just like, and I mean, I even saw one that I really liked with him, with a green, like with an army green cape And I know people are like, do it like the movies. I'm like, yeah, I'll just probably do it. Like that picture I saw. Honestly, I like that one with the green cape. I'm just like, that'd be cool. Be different. Okay. So, getting close there, and we can kind of see that is looking pretty good. So let me get, just gotta hold it in a funky angle. Kind of get the gauntlet, because it's right next to the cape. Again, it's okay if I hit the cape. Never ever beat yourself up too much over art projects like this, because it'll be okay. You can kind of see there. There we go. We have achieved gauntlet. So, there is one piece I'm probably going to take out of the bag right now, and I might do it because that's kind of the same color as the other part. And even though this detail, there we go. It's going to be tough because I need like a way thin brush. But you can see where the black T-visor is. He has a little bit of brown around it and around the edge, so it's going to be a little tough. But I think, let me get my tweezers, because I'm going to have to hold it with the tweezers because my hands are just way too ham-fisted. I'm going to get a little bit of detail on that helmet part. Around where the black, where the black visor is. It's the edge around the black visor, and it's again, we're going for the same color, same brown. There's a big glob on there. I didn't like that. Gotta be super, again, you don't gotta be too gentle with this as far as like, oh, stay in the line. So nah, it'll be okay if you don't totally hit everything, because again, we're coming back with this. I'm gonna need a thinner brush, and I'm gonna have to do the details anyway around not only the black visor but the green that's inside of it. So I think it'll be okay. Dip. Kind of clean out and flatten. And what I'll do is I'll use this brown for the sides of the helmet too. Just need you to... Yeah, I have thinner brushes where I can do the visor, and I'll be doing the green later on. So we'll set that down and let it dry. Awesome. We used all that brown, and it's done. Awesome possum. So, as usual, handy dandy blue towel. Actually, not to sound gross, let me fish this half-used one out of the and we'll clean up. And look at how nice these clean up, man. They're just so good. I really like these blue towels. Typically find them in any like Home Depot or Lowe's. I work at Lowe's right now, so but that would be fine for that. Okay, so we have those. Right now, I'm thinking, because even though like I was like, I don't want to do the details, I might do the details anyway. I'm gonna make an orange for that thing, for his arms and his kneecap, kneecap, excuse me, knee pads. And it's not a very bright orange either. It's like a almost like a faded. Like it's got like a tiny. It's more yellowish. So I do have what I use for Boss flight suit. Demonic yellow. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do mostly that. And again, we don't need much because we're only doing like 4 pieces out of the whole thing, and even one of them's not totally exposed. And we're gonna have to do a microscopic like little drop. And even that kind of seems like a lot that I put right now. So we'll take our handy dandy mixer. I might need to pull some aside and kind of mix that. Let's see what we got. It's kind of looking like it. Let's see what you look like. Nah, you look peach more than you look orange, or that yellowish orange. It's a weird yellowish, like it's almost like a faded orange, like our faded yellow on the. Gosh, you know what I might even do? I might even do demonic yellow with like because it'll probably look bright at first, and then so here's what I'll do. Let's do on one of the other pots. We'll do this part. Do a little bit more. Sorry, I'm gonna lightly graze a little bit of this red over, because again, we don't need much. We just want a little. I'm trying to really get like a faded orangey yellow. That's kind of looking okay. I don't want to add too much red because again it'll go peach again. That's actually looking okay. Like, cause that's one. See how it's a little darker there? Like here in this area compared to that. I want it to look like that on purpose, like darker already, because when we add our, again, I always like name this stuff, the dark tone. Once we add this stuff here, we'll actually make it look even darker once that dries. So that'll actually make the figure look really awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and use that for his knee pads and his shoulder guard pads. Go ahead. Again, we're ever so lightly just kind of. And that's exactly what I wanted right there. See that? That's looking awesome. And you can't really see too well, but like it's one of those things where it's like once it dries, man. Luckily for that one, I can just leave it like that because he's mostly laying on his lower back for the weight. So like my overhead fan will just kind of help dry it. And we'll go ahead and do the other side here. Sorry, I have it up to my face. You can't quite see it yet. That's what I'm looking for right there. That's gold. No pun intended. And I might prop that up next to that one. I'm actually going to do a little bit more darker on the other leg right now. Just because it came out with like a lot of gray showing through, and I just don't want to have to come back and touch it up. So it went on, but it was just really faded. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And again, goes without saying, I talked about it last time I was doing Bosk. I would love if they actually did a. Let me pull this arm off, because we're only doing a tiny sliver of the shoulder guard there. Man, I would love it if they did a modern Boba Fett. If you've seen Mandalorian, minor spoilers, he shows up in season 2. Like, I might even actually, again, like I was saying, I might kit bash and just because these guys are like real cheap for like miniatures. There we go. You just kind of see that shoulder showing through. Looks great. Let that dry. We'll do the other one right now. Of course, that one is perfectly showing. And what I could do with that one too, like again, like leather brown's just gonna be like a lot of his like straps and things like that. It's real easy. I might even get some of that stuff done, like the belt and whatnot, tonight, because I hate trying to rush it. And because I like to just take my time. Just take my time, enjoy the miniature. Enjoy talking to you guys. Okay. And there we are. And again, that wire coming down to his gauntlet from his jetpack. I'm gonna eventually do that one, just a black wire coming through, like no big deal. So that one I'll let dry over here. Trying to think, what else do I have? Anything else that I need? I can't do it right now, unfortunately. I might have to make more of this later on, but I gotta do the little yellow stripes on his helmet, but that's gonna be in a minute. Okay, so what we'll do, and that very same rag, dip it in the water, just wipe it down. That was a really good yellow. I'm super surprised and excited about that. I know it sounds silly, but I love paint. I love painting. I love painting fun things like this. So what we'll do... what next? Maybe some... Because black's easy. Black's just going to be the blaster and a few other things. I might actually go with brown right now. I'm just going to go straight up leather brown. So we can do his belt. We can do his 2 bags that he's got. He's got 2 storage bags he's got right there. And the belt all the way around would be good. Just be something a little easier. I know that's on there kind of thick. That's okay. Come down and make sure we got everywhere it's going to be. And I might even add a little bit of yellow to the brown after this, just to do the Wookiee scalp that's on his right shoulder, if I remember right. Alright, so we did pretty darn good there. We're just finishing up the detail around the other parts of the bag. Because there's this little, like, with minis it's weird because you're painting in 3D versus, like, if you're just painting a wall, that's whatever. But, like, here you're trying to get all the detail here. You're trying to get it as close as you can to that piece without, like, quite brushing the part that you didn't want that color. And, I mean, some people are just, like, pros at it. I'm always like, you know what, just keep going with it. Just whatever it comes out to be, it'll look awesome. You just need the practice. And I mean, he's got. I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the brown because he's got the stripe. And just make it that, even though it looks like he shit his pants. I don't care because it's got like a little thing holding the cod piece right there. So let's make it a brown strap. That looks funny. See, he's got a little strap going. Basically wearing a thong at this point. I'd probably have some Star Wars geeks right now. Actually, it's not a song. It'll be something else. I don't know. Just goofing around. Okay. I'm putting that back on the helping hands just to keep it dry. And let it dry off anyway. I'm thinking just a darker gray I want to do for the shoes again because one of those things where you look something up and you see several different, like, everyone's done their own version of a picture of him, and it's just like, yo, he's wearing brown shoes, he's wearing black shoes, he's wearing, like, oh, you know what I was gonna do? Let's do that. Let's be fun. Let's be adventurous. There's a tiny bit of yellow in there. Tiny bit. Because what we're going to do is go like blondish. A little bit like a light brown, almost like a dirty blonde for this Wookiee scalp. Let me wash that off real quick. That'll look awesome. So, go ahead and paint over that part that we already did. We just need to do the back side of the braid. Okay. Make sure we fill in all the details. Okay. I'm going to go as far up as I can with that. Okay. Cool. Awesome. There it is. We'll just let that dry off. And we'll clean that up. Clean it up. Alright, so now, let's see. Sterling tone definitely in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and probably do black. Black's fine. Black, because there's just a few things on black that I'm just doing, like the visor and the blaster, so I'll just get those out of the way now. Or you know what? Let's go ahead and go nuts, and we'll do his. We'll do his cape. We'll do his cape, and we'll do some detail with the cape. So I'm gonna go ahead and go kind of this green skin, even though that's gonna look more like his armor when it's repainted. I might actually go moldy clothes. I'll go green skin on the cape, and I'll go moldy clothes on the actual armor plate. Because let's just see. If I go fix the music, you can take a look right there. Yeah, because that looks more like his armor currently. And like what timeline it's on. It's gonna sound weird, I know. Bear with me. Be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I guess apparently YouTube now stops, like Netflix, or other streaming things, and it's like, are you still watching? Well, I guess I'm still listening to tunes. Iced tea? Alright. So let's get this over with. We're gonna do the cape first. Cape's gonna look pretty dope. I might actually knock this out in a night. So let's go ahead, and even though I am using a thinner brush, it's nice because I'm gonna get in all these folds I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna have to hold him by the hand. Might even have to do this in parts, just because I'd have to wait for this part to dry, and then I'd have to do the other side. Let's try and get as close as we can with this. That is one thing I do like about Boba Fett, is he wears a lot of earth tones, and I love earth tones. Earth tones are awesome. We're getting closer to the edge, so we gotta be a little bit more careful. And what I'm gonna do is when I do the black, I might actually come through and actually hit these little blaster shots with that. Just a quick, like, thinned out like paint of it, and just dot it. Okay. So we're gonna hold that there. I'm actually still holding him by the hand. Gently turn him over. We're just gonna get this area. edges here, make sure it's all looking green. Sure, actually dip that in there, mix it in here, okay. So we thin the paint just a little, just to make sure it gets in every crack and crevice. Okay. I think I did pretty darn good with that, I'd say. I hate this because every time I turn him, I'm being very gentle not to... I don't want a finger to fall off of that hand because he's got his hand open. So I gotta be very careful because that plastic can be brittle sometimes. Not saying that it is. I just don't want to totally manhandle it and it falls apart and then I'm like, great, Boba Fett doesn't have a hand. Oh, how am I gonna hold you like this? Let me get this little edge here, in this area, and what we'll do, put this on the drying open hands, thank you. It's actually being extremely helpful this time, man. That thing is a lifesaver. Should have been using it more often. Okay, I'm gonna use... Actually, what I'm gonna do is, because I got plenty of that other one. Hey, how's it going? Stop by. Thank you for stopping by. It's going pretty well. We actually got all the basics of his pants, his flight suit is done. I got the gauntlets. I even did the little Wookiee patch, or the little Wookiee scalp, as you can see on there. So what we're gonna do now, I kind of want to do the main part of his armor, like his chest plate and his helmet, like, and we're just doing like the tiny part, like on top and on the sides, because I'm gonna have to do a darker green. Like, I'm gonna have to do this green skin and the black over it to do it. But right now I'm gonna actually use, for the main plate, moldy clothes and the dark skin. That's gonna be awesome. So we'll mix that up. And I'm doing mostly of the moldy clothes just because it is a faded look. I mean, I know the picture on the box, like, it makes them look real dark, like green. But I'm just imagining, like, from Empire, from Return of the Jedi, just where he like has that really faded armory look, and that's definitely what we're going for, more or less, with this one. Later on, again, minor spoilers, he does show up again, which is awesome, because it's like, yo, like, now it's canon that he's alive, you know, he's in this universe still. So we're gonna definitely, I'm liking that. That's a nice, almost like, just a foresty faded green is what I was going for, and that looks perfect right there. I know you can't quite see it on there, but I was just testing it on the rag. So I'm going to actually do the chest piece first with the neck part. And I'm going to come back to this because there's a little clasp holding it, and I'm going to actually probably make that clasp... You know what, I take that back. I'm going to actually make the clasp like a silver piece or something, just something metallic looking. Okay. This is where detail brushes come in really handy. So we're doing the neck piece. And I'm even going to do the back part too. Okay. And I'm actually going to employ my tweezers again so I can hold it by the neck piece and actually get the plating done real nicely, but to the point where it's not gonna hit the other parts. Okay, dip a little bit more. I might even water this down a little bit and use that over the cape just to kind of give it that faded wash. So, what I'm trying to do too is while I'm trying to paint this, I'm trying to make sure I'm not leaving too many brush strokes. It's not working super well, but it'll be okay once it dries. That's looking better right there. I'm liking that. Alright. Just the only thing is, I know he has that other piece on there that looks like a thing. There we go. You can kind of see it right there. Sorry. That's perfect. That's gonna... I'll lightly set that down. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to set it down like that. And now the other piece that had that on there. Again with the tweezers. I'm gonna have to do the helmet. And, oh man. Scary. This is gonna suck. Can I hold it like that now? Give my left hand a little bit of... Okay. Sorry you can't quite see it, but I'm gonna actually hold it down with the tweezers. Because I can't really pick it up right now. My hand's kind of doing this thing where if I do too much activity with like crafting and things like that, my hand tends to seize up and do this thing where it's like it needs a timeout. So right now I'm just kind of holding it down, trying to do the top part of the helmet. I'm probably going to do the sides right now too, and the back. It's already got the brown on the sides. Just trying to get that on there. Okay. And I'll give that a minute. So with that, I think I got all the dark green parts. I'm gonna actually, oh, hand's doing it again. Okay, come on, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna do a darker gray for... I'll probably do the filthy suit for his shoes. Boots, whatever. Whichever type of shoe he wears. My apologies on that part. So I'm going to use a little bit more of this light green to do that part. And the other part that's... it's kind of that green. Alright, that's looking pretty darn good. Sorry, I can't hold it up right now. Actually, I can. Can, and I will. There we are. Okay, and I hate it when the tweezers won't let go. Because I'm like, hopefully I didn't get paint on a part where I don't want paint. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. That's good. It's looking real good. Okay. Alright, I think we're done with the green, I believe. Yeah, I don't think he's got any. It's weird for a piece that. Let me see. Because I know it's got some greens and some like faded, like bluish looking parts on the backpack, or the jetpack. But it's gonna sound weird. I kind of want to paint it black first and then add those later on for detail. It's tough. Yeah, I think that's good. That's fine. I'm gonna do that. I'll leave the jetpack there for now. Clean this up, and then I'm going to do. Gonna do filthy suit. I'll do the shoes. I'll do the shoes right now while the other parts are drying. It'll be easy. And then I'll do a little bit of black for like the blaster and a couple other parts. And we should be almost done, basically. For some reason, I am super nervous about that visor, but whatever. That's fine. Okay, we'll take you all first. What I like about filthy suit, it just makes it look weathered, and it actually adds a little bit more just overall good looking to it. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the bottom part of the foot. Okay. Sorry, that's my ringtone. Okay, I'll prop that up there. Oh. I'll do the other foot. Alright, that was easy. I'm actually going to put this one in the helping hands just because I don't see it holding the other one very well. Alright, let's take this guy off. Just surveying it and looking pretty good. Cool. Alright, so what we'll do, actually with the hand part too, I'm gonna add that little, I was talking about, like that dark, cause like on his knuckle part, he's got like a little bit like a darker glove look on there, so I just put like a quick swipe on it. So we'll let that dry. And this part on the other gauntlet, do the same thing, just to make his gloves look like a matching pair. Sorry, you can hear somebody yelling outside. It's our vendor. Come by, they sell all kinds of goodies. Not quite like an ice cream man, they got other things they got on there too. So I'm going to need a very dark greenish blue. This is going to be weird. Okay, so we're gonna finish it up tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it up tonight, and what I'll do is my details later on. I'll do on the like just off screen, and I'll put some pictures on Twitter, whatnot, the usual spots where you can find me. Let's see. Okay, so green, dark green. I should correct myself. Dark green. So that's going to be the majority of the color. Because it looks almost like a dark greenish, like aqua on his, because he on the dark spot of his helmet, like on the cheek part. It's a little weird. Again, I'm going off kind of off the box just real quick, but let's get a tiny, tiny bit of blue. And some black, because we're making it dark. Okay. Awesome, awesome. And we'll mix that together, see what we got. Hopefully it comes out what I wanted. That's a lot of black. That's actually too much black. I'm gonna have to take you over here. Rinse that off. And I'm gonna have, oh no, you know what? That's actually looking, let me add a tiny touch of green to this pot over here, because that is actually looking pretty darn close. Because I just need, and it's just a tiny swipe too, like I didn't even need to make this much, like it's that little bit that I needed, because it's just for the top part of his helmet. Detail brush. Okay. Please steady my hand. Okay, that's looking pretty decent. Not great, but it's decent. Because I got a little bit on the part that I didn't want to. I'm going to need a top-down camera for this, just so you guys can actually see me what I'm doing. But you can see there, that kind of gives it that dark green that's in between the two things. And I got a dot over there, but that's fine. That's looking pretty darn good. So I'm actually proud of what I did there. On the back, on his vent, I'm going to actually use that color for that too, just because that would give it a little bit more contrast. There we go. Clean my brush. I'll probably start assembling here in a minute. Let's see. I'll put the legs together. And I bought 2 things of Loctite glue. This is my favorite glue for models. I know everybody has their own. Some people even use only model glue, but honestly this gets the job done and works just fine. I normally have the gel one, but like I actually like the liquid one a lot. So Just got to be careful with it coming out that fast. And I just realized that I messed up because I forgot to do his. Let me get a little bit here real quick before I do anything else. Boop. Forgot to get his codpiece. How embarrassing. Black, where you at? There we go. Actually, let me get a tiny bit. Of that and mix it up here. It's not exactly like the other one, but it is pretty darn close. Not bad for a quick paint job and glue job. So that's put together. We're gonna put the torso on the legs. Just a little bit of glue on the tab. That's coming down there. There we are. Nearly assembled. We're almost done, actually. At least with just the basics. The jetpack and everything else, I'm just gonna probably do off of here. We'll see. But yeah, I'm sitting there staring at the jetpack. I should be working on this. Okay, let's clean this up. Let's get rid of this green and this hideous, toxic, dark green I had to do. Don't need that ever again. Now, we just gotta add in the detail with some of the black. Let's close our glue. So we'll just be doing the blaster, one wire, and if I recall right, there's... Oh, and the visor too, on the actual... Yeah. Cool. Alright, so let's get some... Where'd you go? You were just right here. Oh, you had your back turned. Good old-fashioned matte black. Okay. So the piece I'm doing first is the antenna. I'm kind of stuck holding it right now because I can't put it down. But there's the antenna. I'll try and set it down gently so I don't get anywhere. Well, that's strong. Let's do the blaster. I'm doing that part that earlier I was like, oh no, I got the whole buttstock of it. Good. Got all that. Now we're just doing the actual handle, barrel. Go. And with guns and blasters and all kinds of things, you just want to make sure you're getting everywhere around it. Sorry if my face is close to the camera, I am really concentrating. I don't want to bring it back to where I lean back and you guys don't see anything going on and then I show you like, oh, this is what I did. Definitely one other reason why I want to do an overhead camera eventually. So you can see what I'm doing, you can see what tools I'm grabbing. You don't have to look at my ugly mug, but I mean, hey, go on and stare if you wanna. Okay. Just doing the rest of the buttstock. Very careful. There we go, that's looking really good. Gonna lay that down and let it dry. Okay, and now, well, the helmet is at least dry to the touch. I'm actually going to attempt the visor, and I think I've already kind of mashed up. Alright, I got it. Okay, really, like honestly, I just thinned it down more than anything and just kind of dripped it in there. And yeah, does its job for me. There we go. And I'm wiping it clean afterwards just to get the little edges off. And actually, it's funny because this looks weathered already, but that's a good thing because that's exactly what we're going for. Alright, so that is it for tonight. I'm gonna cut it off there because the rest is just detail, and I'll get that done as I go within the next day or so, and gluing and everything. But you know what? While you're here, screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to do the jetpack. Let's do this at least. this area. And even if this one isn't totally black, I know there's like ones where it's brown, where it has a different like thing on it in the back. Again, the picture I have here, it just shows black on the rocket part, the missile launcher. So I'm going to do that black. And when that finishes drying, what I'll do is I'll just do some weathering. I may even do, I think it was like a brownish, on the other part it was like a brownish brown, like a light brown, and a couple other things. I'm gonna have to look at pictures of it and just go from there, but there, we'll just do that rocket pack part first. The missile launcher part, I'm sorry. There. But we'll do the rest of that just like a different like color scheme, probably brown and like a little bit of, I think if I remember right, there was like a faded blue on there, at least on the old pictures of it. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get going. Y'all have a great night, great weekend whenever you're watching this, and take care of yourselves and each other, and much love. Peace. Show you that real quick. Bam.